His Magellan here is a new edition of the good, the bad, and the disappointing. And let's take a look at our good. Surprisingly, the long-awaited Uncanny X-Men 600. Bendis was definitely looking to go for some world record as to the amount of words he can put in a book. And it was actually really, really good. Basically, what's going on here is this: for any, because we've been outside of like the main continuity for so long, this book snaps everything back. It revisits old plot points, and in a few pages it kind of gets you up to speed, and then it shoots forward, and then to where it's basically the trial of the beast. Now, pretty much, the X-Men are like Beast. You have like been doing some really bad things, and the Beast is, his heart's in the right place, but he's just, like he's tampering with things, laws of physics, time, and it's just getting way out of control. And in theory, based on comic book laws, the X-Men are ready to turn the Beast into S.H.I.E.L.D., but they're trying to handle it in-house. And the Beast is not taking things well, which is, understandable because, like I said, he means to do well. But in a way, if it wasn't for the fact of the Beast showing up in the Inhumans book, this almost, I would say, would be a point in time where he actually would start to turn into the Dark Beast. Because it's basically all of his friends, his family, basically, even himself, turned their back on him. And I thought that part of the story was great. Then they finally settle Magic and Colossus. They weren't getting along for a while, so they settled that, mending old broken bridges, and it was all really, like I said, everything had its own little strength. People may not like every side story, or maybe they don't like the art in some of the different side stories because there's different artists. But I thought everything as a whole was really, really solid, and this was kind of like a much needed book. Because like for example, the Avengers, they just throw everything back, and you're just caught up in the newness of everything. But this grounds everything, and you go forward. Great, great read. The bad. My God. Avengers versus Infinity is the worst book ever. It is written down to like a 2-year-old level. It has nothing to do with continuity. It breaks continuity on top of that. It is a complete and utter waste of time. You can't even, there's things in here that you can't even make an excuse for. Let's put it that way. Like, let's dissect this. You have the story here where this guy, he's feeling alone, he's being left out, people don't like him, exclude him on purpose, and he happens to see an encounter where Loki gives the Wrecker these magic gloves, and the Wrecker's like, I don't want these, and he throws them away, and this guy picks up the gloves and he starts rampaging. So the Avengers come. You have Hawkeye shooting some arrows. The guy deflects the arrows and it goes into the crowd, and you have Captain America scolding Hawkeye like this is Hawkeye's first time out. Really? When does that happen now? And then Hawkeye redeems himself by talking to this guy down. He's basically like, sometimes feeling angry is better than, and being noticed is better than not, and being alone. And the guy's like, you're right, Hawkeye. I was wrong. And he takes off his gloves. I was like, I knew I was on the train of suckitude. Because this, I just literally just flipped my lid right there. Because I'm like, this is not happening. I thought I was being punked by Marvel. Okay, so let's look at the next story. It is Doctor Doom versus the Avengers versus Dracula. Okay. Okay, that's fine. You have Doctor Doom inside the normal mask, right? Okay, I can accept that. But it's kind of like Doctor Doom is kind of like afraid of these vampires, Dracula. You have some hidden history between Dracula and the Black Widow. You have really crappy dialogue between these characters. Doctor Doom's whole purpose is to get some blood of, the Dracula, but of course the Avengers stop him, and they stop him by punching him in the face. And if you notice, he's just sitting there in the wall. And I'm like, at what point would Doctor Doom ever do that? Doctor Doom is like a sorcerer supreme, and he has technology. He doesn't need the Avengers to fight Dracula or any of these. It's just nonsensical. It's just like they ignore things that normal readers know. Then what really, really got me was this one story here where you had Thor. And Thor's talking to Odin, and Odin's not happy with Thor. You got the Dracula thing going on again. And I swear to God, Thor loses his hammer. And the Black Widow calls for the hammer. The hammer leaves Odin's hand, and Black Widow is using the hammer against Dracula. The hammer's only supposed to be used by the worthy, not by anybody. Black Widow is one of the most unworthiest Avengers. She's an assassin. She's killed for money. She's done horrible acts of destruction. It's not like she went to a cause and said, I have to kill that person because it's the cause, it's gonna do good. No, she did it for money, or she did it because that was what Russia told her to do, type thing. That's your job. And I'm just at a total loss. It's like, this is this age of diversity shit, It's like nobody should be touching the hammer, type thing. Okay, I give, all right, Jane Foster, fine, you can argue that. Captain America, you could argue that. But nobody else. This is ridiculous. Next you're going to see D-Man holding Thor's hammer. You know what I mean? This is the most worthless piece of shit book I have seen in a long time. Disappointing. Darkseid War or Superman. The reason why this is really disappointing for me is because we've seen this countless times. It's Superman. He's corrupted by power, because it's the negative energy from Apocalypse. And, he... Get this. After beating a villain, he walks into a diner and he asks for pie. Pie. Really? Superman walks into a diner and asks for pie. Now granted that might have been something that he did in the past, but he's evil now. Then, when he doesn't get said pie because everybody's bothering him, he slams the counter, and okay, this is evil Superman, right? So you would think the counter would shatter into millions of pieces. There'd be the ground would shake, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But that's what happens. Nothing happens. He just goes thump. It's kind of like, it's like the writer and artist both forgot that he is Superman, and he should have broken the table. And then you have this venom-like goo oozing around that's taking over the city, and I'm like, I'm done. This was such a disappointment. Um, two shit books. That's all I gotta say. Two really shitty books, back to back. Anyways, that's for the good, the bad, disappointing. Let me know what you guys thought was your good, your bad, and your disappointing for the week. We'll have some more reviews later. Like, share, and until next time.